Another handy thing, the power plug for this is a 3-prong plug. It's not a regular wall wart ugly thing like this. So that's another cool thing about this mixer. Overall, it's a pretty good mixer for the money. But I stress again, it's definitely not a DJ battle mixer. It's not a scratch mixer. The sampler, which if working is a pretty handy feature too. You can select any one of the channels as an input to record into that sampler, and you can either switch to a single shot for what you play, and just you hit it once, sample plays and then stops, or you can leave it on repeat, and as soon as when you press the button, sample will just keep repeating over and over until you hit stop, and then you don't hear it anymore. It also has a pitch sampler setting on it that you can change to either slow down or speed up the sample. You can't keep the same key of it, so if you slow it down, it's going to sound kind of Freddy Krueger-ish, and speeding it up, chipmunks, whatever. It does have a sampler record level knob, which doubles as the play output knob. I can't just demonstrate how it's working though today for some reason. You could also pan where the sample is going left or right, which is another handy feature. And as far as the good things, that's about it. There are, the last thing, there's a lot of outputs for this mixer actually. There's a 1/4-inch master output, which is pretty good. And there are 3 separate RCA outputs for it. There's a master RCA output, a record RCA output, which you cannot control the volume of. I think it's connected to the master. I'm not sure. I didn't play with that yet. And there's a booth output, which is really handy because you have a whole separate output channel that you can control yourself for your own booth monitor, and it has no effect on the master output whatsoever. But that wraps it up for the good things. Now for the bad things, the crossfader, the very first thing, especially for a mixer this size, that you're going to notice is that this fader is not sharp in terms of the cut curve at all. Did you walk into like... Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You can edit, right?
Yeah.
Fuck!
Mixer's whack. Just say it. Just be like, at the end, can we just smash it with a sledgehammer? Did you buy it?
No, I didn't.
They sent it to you?
No, it's a friend's actually. He never used it, so.
Since we have the power to edit, this mixer blows. Gemini sucks.
Gemini does suck.
Gemini has always sucked.
Yeah.
Always. You hear that? Gemini always sucked.
Now say it to the camera's face.
Gemini always sucked. I'm Ron Burgundy. Okay. Most.
I gotta get that all over again.
And I'm back. Okay. Okay, now on to the bad things. Is that good? Okay. This crossfader, the first thing that you'll notice about it, for anyone who's looking for a scratch mixer, is not ideal in any sense. They claim that it's a sharp curve, but it really is not. So that makes most scratches difficult or even impossible when you're talking about technical scratches. You can still do the real simple baby scratch stuff, some transform stuff, and you can beat juggle with this mixer. That's all possible. However, once you get into the more complicated scratches like crabs, flares, lasers, and all this other crap that's out there, this mixer is pretty much impossible to do those cuts on. They claim, Gemini claims, that there's a sharp and gradual curve, but even on the sharp setting, the fader has to move from 0, has to move at least ½ an inch in order to hear full volume, and in between that, you'll hear a gradual buildup of the sound. Just to give you an example, I'll just play the record and then move the fader slowly from 0 to full volume. And this is on the sharp setting. That was about full volume. On the gradual setting, it would be slightly more gradual than that. So that's about an inch of space. And any cut that you're trying to do in a technical sense is pretty much impossible if you're using this mixer.